Welcoming you to the Friday edition of Primetime News. Good evening to our viewers from all around the world. Trusting you had a great week. I'm Michael Madimba. Leading this evening's bulletin. The Anti-Corruption Commission received 120 complaints of corruption during the 2020-2021 financial year, representing a 36% decrease from the 187 complaints received in the previous year. Our Ironco-based correspondent Isabel Bento compiled our first report.
According to the Anti-Corruption Commission's 2020-2021 annual report, only 50 of these cases warranted investigations by the Anti-Corruption Commission compared to 61 cases that had to be investigated in the previous year. These figures do not include matters in which whistleblowers were directed or advised to report complaints to other relevant institutions. The report read the remaining 63 cases of non-pursuable corruption complaints were declined due to insufficient evidence or vague or unsubstantiated information provided, while 7 corruption-related cases were referred to other institutions with a request for feedback. It added the nature of information for the corruption cases received determines whether the matter warrants investigation by the Anti-Corruption Commission or not, the report noted.
On to a rather unfortunate incident. A 17-year-old girl allegedly committed suicide by drinking poison at Mayara village in the Kavango East region on Wednesday. Sawi Hausiku, our Kavango region correspondent, filed the story.
The Namibian Police Force's Crime Investigations Coordinator for the Kavango East region, Deputy Commissioner Bonifacius Kanyetu, told Nampa on Thursday the deceased has been identified as Muwara Mutengo. The incident occurred around 18 hours. Kanyetu said Mutengo's body was discovered at her homestead by relatives who alerted the police. According to the Deputy Commissioner, a suicide note was found at the scene, but the contents of the note could not be disclosed as police investigations had not yet been carried out. Mutengo's body was transported to the Andara Catholic Hospital's mortuary.
In regional news, Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa on Wednesday toured the new parliament building in Mount Hampden, described it as a majestic and landmark piece of work. Selima Chmwefeleni Masipa reports.
President Mnangagwa thanked President Xi Jinping for the new building which the Chinese government built as a gift to Zimbabwe. He said the new 6-story building, which is now complete and ready for occupation, would be commissioned soon. The new building, which comprises 4 floors on the Parliament side and 6 floors on the office side building, encompasses a chamber house containing the 250-seat National Assembly and 100-seat Senate. Initially, the government had intended to locate the new Parliament building in the Kopje area, but concerns over parking space saw the site being moved to Mount Hampden, where a new city will also take shape as many companies are expected to relocate there to avoid the congestion that was categorized by the Central Business District.
Staying in Zimbabwe. The ZANU-PF Youth League on Tuesday dismissed claims by Front for Economic Emancipation of Zimbabwe leader Godfrey Tsinengamu that President Mnangagwa and his deputy, retired General Constantino Chiwenga, had a power-sharing deal.
The former ZANU-PF youth leader claimed that the two had agreed that President Mnangagwa would serve only one term and then hand over power to VP Chiwenga. Addressing a press conference, ZANU-PF Youth League Secretary for Legal Affairs Phineas Makombe said calls by the entire party, including Vice President Chiwenga, for President Mnangagwa to stand in 2023 is testimony that there was no such agreement. Makombe said the two leaders were complementing each other in implementing government programs and projects, stressing this shows that such an agreement never happened. Adding the whole party, including a leadership, has endorsed Mnangagwa as the sole candidate for 2023.
When we return, gas deliveries resume through German-Russian Nord Stream 1 pipeline. The Primetime B segment brings you all things business. Leading the segment tonight, a company spokesman confirmed to DPA earlier today that gas deliveries have resumed via the German-Russian Nord Stream pipeline after maintenance work. Isabel Bento brings us this report.
The 10-day maintenance outage reduced flow to zero on July 11, and there had been fears Moscow could decide not to turn supplies back on at a time when Europe is already facing an energy crisis. The Nord Stream AG spokesperson said it would take some time to reach the usual gas transport levels. The Nord Stream AG spokesperson said it would take some time to reach the usual gas transport levels. He said the latest gas supply volumes were the same as those announced before the maintenance period, around 67 million cubic meters per day, and correspond to about 40% of maximum supply capacity. But it is possible for volumes to change over the course of a day, with some time needed for changes to take effect. Russian President Vladimir Putin warned on Tuesday that gas volumes could drop as low as 33 million cubic meters by the end of July if a gas turbine sent to Canada for repairs wasn't returned to Russia soon. German officials have said Russia is using the delay in returning the turbine as a pretext.
E-commerce giant Amazon revealed it handed 648 million British pounds directly to the taxman last year as its British operation saw revenue surge past 23 billion pounds for the first time amid the pandemic-fueled online boom. Salima Shimwefalini Masipa gives us the details.
The retail and technology giant said its direct tax bill increased by almost a third from 492 million euros in 2020. The bulk of the tax increase was driven by the increase in the size of its British workforce, which swelled to cope with rising demand. Amazon grew to around 70,000 workers by the end of 2021, and its continued recruitment spree is set to take the firm to almost 75,000 staff by the end of this year. Taxes were also increased by the expansion of the company's real estate footprint, with the group opening new warehouses and growing its grocery store operation. A surge in demand for online retail as high street rivals were shut during the first month of the year resulted in higher sales. Revenue increased by 12.4% to 23.19 billion euros for 2021. Amazon said this also resulted in higher indirect taxes, which almost doubled to 2.13 billion euros. The rise in indirect taxes such as VAT meant the firm claimed its total tax contribution lifted to 2.77 billion euros from 1.55 billion euros a year earlier.
With that, we've come to the end of the top segment. Kindly stay tuned for your Friday installment of Sports News. But first, the economics roundup and the weather forecast.
A very good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of Sport Planet. I'm Selima Shimwe-Feleni Masipa. We kick off with continental football. African football chief Patrice Motsepe has praised 2022 African Nations Championship host Algeria ahead of qualifying for the 18-team tournament which kicked off earlier today. On a visit to the country, the Confederation of African Football president told the media that he really liked what he saw in Algiers. The tournament in Algeria, postponed by a year due to the coronavirus pandemic, has also been subjected to a change of dates, with the kickoff put back 5 days to January 13th, 2023. On to Formula One. Charles Leclerc will seek to complete Ferrari's first hat-trick since 2019 by fending off world champion Max Verstappen and a likely threat from reinvigorated Lewis Hamilton at this weekend's French Grand Prix. The 24-year-old Leclerc, who battled to victory in Austria last time out after teammates Carlos Sainz triumphed in Britain, is likely to enjoy strong support from a big holiday crowd sweltering in the merciless sunshine of southeastern France. But he will need to overcome several challenges if he is to further trim Red Bull star Verstappen's 38-point advantage at the halfway mark in this 22-race season, not least from Sainz, who is keen to add to his maiden Silverstone success. Stand by for your sports roundup. That's where we leave it for this week. Many thanks for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and press the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. Catch us on Monday next week as we bring you fresh daily news updates on Primetime News. From myself, Selima Shimwe-Feleni Masipa, and the entire production crew, wishing you a blessed weekend and good night.